hard to capture, extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifesting. The gods work like appliances, dealing in my psyche.
Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explained here, bringing you guys another discussion for Boruto Naruto Next Generations, the manga. And for anime only fans, this is a time of the month where a lot of the content that you guys are going to see on the channel is going to be spoiler heavy, so I thank you for your support. However, if you're still here, I'm assuming that you guys are already caught up with the Boruto manga and you guys don't care about me talking about spoilers. So I think that because of everything that's gone on in the last few Boruto manga chapters, we need to have a conversation about the time skip. We do know that from what Ikemoto said at Jump Festa that the time skip is approaching and that it will be here relatively soon. My guess is that it's going to be here probably before the end of the next manga volume. The fact is that so much has changed and so much is required for Boruto and Sarada to take those next steps forward because of everything that's happened. We've had Sasuke have his rinnegan being confirmed being destroyed. We have Naruto in a life or death state to where nobody really knows whether or not Naruto is actually alive. And if you think like I do that Naruto potentially lost the power of the Nine Tails or a significant portion of it, you now have Naruto and Sasuke both significantly weaker, and you have the threat of Momoshiki inside of Boruto's body at 80% karma completion. And I think now's the time we need to have this conversation about what can Boruto and Sarada do to take those next steps forward to make up for the lost power of both of their parents. Now, this is the thing. I know a lot of people don't want to hear the conversation of, oh my god, Boruto and Sarada, they're gonna get stronger than their parents. And for a long time, we all said, how the hell could that be possible? Naruto and Sasuke at this point are freaking planet busters. The fact that these guys have had over a decade worth of training, over a decade to get more accustomed to their powers and clearly get stronger because they're taking out people Kaguya was scared of. A lot of people are saying there's no way that Boruto and Sarada can actually progress this level, and yet because Naruto and Sasuke are being depowered, it really feels like this is the moment where now you start seeing maybe they can't actually surpass Naruto and Sasuke when they're at their peak, but by depowering Naruto and Sasuke, maybe you're actually setting up for them to actually surpass these current versions. And then at that point, it kind of comes down to the multipliers that the various forms get, whether it be Boruto with some type of mode because he's able to tap into the Borushiki power, or Sarada because of how strong her base ends up getting, maybe Sarada with the Mangekyo Sharingan or potentially an EMS. Because of those multipliers, maybe Sarada is able to get stronger. But the fact is, I think there's a clear guideline for actual training. So for Boruto, hands down, it's got to be chakra control training. Boruto has to learn how to better utilize his chakra control, which is already very good, but he needs to get absolute perfect chakra control to be able to bust out these high-level ninjutsu back to back to back without Boruto actually burning through his chakra reserves. And a great way to kind of look at this is the fact that this is how somebody like Tsunade, this is how somebody like especially the third Hokage were able to fight at a high level for a prolonged period in time. That's why the third Hokage, despite being a lot weaker than he was in his prime, the third Hokage was able to fight on a high level against Orochimaru using a lot of chakra consuming jutsu because Orochimaru was fighting somebody who had perfect chakra control. That's why Hiruzen Sarutobi was able to last out as long as he did. And so when you look at Boruto and the fact that his Boruto Shiki form or his Borushiki form allows Momoshiki to take over once his chakra levels hit a certain level, by having that perfect chakra control, it cuts down on the amount of chakra that Boruto wastes. And so by default, Boruto is going to be able to fight at a much higher level. Imagine Boruto being able to use that space-time ninjutsu of the karma seal without Boruto actually burning through more of the chakra that's actually required for him to use. Now, when you look at the character of Sarada, I think that the anime has already set that groundwork for Sarada. So we know that from what Sakura said, that Sarada needs to work on her endurance. She also needs to work on her chakra control. That's going to be a way for Sarada to advance her Sharingan to that next level and fully utilize her Sharingan. I think that for for Sarada, that next step for her is going to be on maximizing the abilities of her Sharingan. I think coming out of the time skip, I've been a big proponent of the fact that I think Sarada needs to be able to combine Genjutsu and combine that perfect chakra control with Sarada being able to use Genjutsu that is on a completely different level. I think that when you're fighting beings like this, being able to cast Genjutsu on this scope, I think that could be something that actually helps Sarada. Now, the other thing you have to look at with the character of Sarada is that she already has multiple changes in chakra nature, but I think that Sarada needs to seriously consider going the route that Kakashi Hatake did, which is Sarada needs to be copying ninjutsu using her Sharingan, and Sarada needs to become a very versatile shinobi. So far what we've seen that she's had like a mix of the different abilities of her parents. So we've seen that Sarada's very good when it comes to shuriken jutsu like her father. We know that she's got some pretty good chakra control, not the best as we saw when she attempted to learn medical ninjutsu, but because she used her Sharingan to be able to copy her mother's movements, she was able to replicate that sensation of having perfect chakra control. I think that that was the step in the right direction right there. Her using her Sharingan to copy moves, that way she can take that step forward. I think Sarada, out of all the members of Team 7, needs to be the most diverse. Whatever form of combat that you're going in, Sarada needs to be able to perfectly utilize her Sharingan's Eye of Insight, which allows Sarada to be able to predict your moves before they actually happen because she's reading your muscle twitches and the very fibers of your muscles. I think that Sarada needs to be using the various jutsu that she's copied and finding ways to actually make them her own, finding ways to become a more diverse fighter while also being a more unorthodox fighter at the exact same time. I think another area that Sarada could attempt to take things another step forward is if you have Sarada also double down on learning fire and lightning changes in chakra nature, since those are her two strongest chakra natures. I think that you need to start looking at Sasuke potentially teaching Sarada higher level fire release jutsu. That way Sarada can start producing stuff like her own version of Kirin, because we know from Kirin the jutsu that basically makes use of actual lightning in the sky. And so when you look at the weakness of the Karma Seal and you look at the weakness of the Otsutsuki clan, natural attacks like that are able to do some very serious damage. So I think that Sarada learning a jutsu like that is definitely something that could actually work. And now I know some of you guys have already seen that video I did talking about Boruto's Byakugo Seal and why that could be something that is very important. If you've not actually seen that video should be coming up on the channel very shortly. It's actually done. I'm just waiting to have a few things on the copyright side actually hammered out. But what I will say though is that Sarada and Boruto already have the tools that are required. If they go into the time skip and actually train, they have the tools that are required to make them potentially two of the most deadly assets that Konoha has in this battle against the Otsutsuki clan. However, I want to know from you guys, how do you guys feel about this, and what do you personally expect from the time skip out of Boruto and Sarada? Let me know down in the comment section below. But as always guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day guys.